Hi guys, Hayley here from Ikigai Oils. Thanks for joining me tonight on this talk about stress. So I guess why do we get stressed? We have different emotions that affect us all day, every day, for one reason or another. And stress is probably the most common and the hardest to deal with because it manifests in our bodies differently. And I guess that's why I like to do this talk tonight, because I actually went to a talk with Peter Mullen the other night, and a lot of you I know are tuning in who attended that. It was on stress and adrenal fatigue, and there was a lot of interest around the essential oils and how they can support our bodies actually be able to balance out the chemical changes that stress causes in our body. And that can happen on a lot of different levels, and we're going to go through a lot of that tonight. And stress does happen to everyone. And if people say that it doesn't, they're lying, because we all have to go to the supermarket. We all have mobile phones. We drive cars. We work with people. We interact with society. We have to pay bills. These are all stresses that we deal with on a regular basis. And if we're not dealing with them very well, our body is no longer in homeostasis. Homeostasis is just a big fancy word for being balanced, basically. The best time, I guess, when we are in homeostasis is when we're asleep. Well, that's when our body tries to return to it anyway. And, you know, who gets really good sleep? Not everyone, most people not really, and if you do, that's fantastic because it helps a lot. But stress affects lots of different things, and sleep is definitely one of them. And of course there are oils which will help that as well. In February earlier this year, I actually spent 4 days learning from medical practitioners and experts in natural health care to actually summarise. I've actually summarised what I've learnt from that in relation to stress and emotions in general, but tonight we'll mainly focus on stress emotions. And when you understand that emotions in general are actually molecules in our body. Think about that. So stress isn't just a feeling. It's not just something that comes out of our mind. It's actually a physical change to our cells. And the way that happens is because these molecules, these stress molecules, which get created in our body, actually talk to our cells. So our cells have communicators, our cell receptors. And those molecules, those stress molecules or emotional molecules, talk to those cell receptors and tell that cell what to do. And that's why when we're stressed, it manifests in our body. That's why we get symptoms in our body, is because emotions are actually chemical changes that occur inside of us, which is really, really fascinating when you think about it. And there's lots of different types of stress. So there's actually good stress, believe it or not, good stress. It's called eustress. And positive stress or good stress can be exercise. That's putting good stress on our body, on our muscles. It's oxygenating our system. It's great. It's what our body needs to be healthy. But obviously you could get too much of a good thing. You can exercise too much and overdo it, of course. But there are things, even a little bit of adrenaline, it's not a bad thing. It's some good stress to get us out of bad situations. But then there's distress. Distress is negative. It's bad. And that's what we don't want. Well, that's what we have to try and minimize, because, look, at the end of the day, we can't run from stress. We just can't. It's in our life, and we have to learn how to deal with it. And the best thing that I have found since being, I guess, exposed to essential oils is that I have tools at my disposal 24/7 whenever I need it, for whatever reason, because it changes all the time. So stress, I guess, happens in our body, and it's when it reacts to something that is not favourable, really. So it could be something that's happened from the past, and it's reoccurring. So that's when it normally turns into something chronic, because your body can't repair itself from those little bouts of stress. Some people might have a little bit of road rage or bad night's sleep, an argument with someone. These are little stresses in our life that we can often deal with, you know, if they pop up every now and again. But when we have reoccurring issues, sleep apnea, you know, constant fatigue or pain even, environmental stress, things that are happening to our body, can wear it out, and that's when our body doesn't have the opportunity to repair itself. And that's the homeostasis that we're talking about. Now, our body is communicating with us on a very regular basis, but how many of us are listening? Think about that. So if we have, think of our body as a car, and we all have dashboards, and the car, it starts flashing oil light or a light for something, and we choose to ignore that and put a sticker over it because, we're busy, we don't want to deal with it right now, it's no big deal. But then what happens? The car breaks down, doesn't it? It stops working. Take it to a mechanic. You have to pay $1,500 for them to fix it. And then the mechanic looks at you and goes, why did you stick a sticker over the oil light? Why didn't you just put oil in the car? It would have been fine. And then the only comeback we have is the fact that, we wanted to pretend we had oil. We wanted to pretend there wasn't an issue. But at the end of the day, that's not going to fix the problem. So we don't want to be covering up symptoms. And what covers up symptoms? Most medications cover up symptoms. We have to be careful with, what we put in our body and how we treat it. This can be food. This can be technology and things that we use to stimulate our mind or distract us from things. How often do you not want to deal with something, so you watch television or you go on your phone because you don't want to feel those outside pressures of society? That's a distraction, and rather than dealing with the real emotion. So you're actually putting more stress on your body because you're ignoring whatever that is actually eating away at you, if that makes sense. So essential oils can work, from an emotional level to help unlock a lot of those past feelings. When you remember that our unconscious mind is programmed in the first 7 years of life. So our innate responses to things are programmed between the ages of 0, or in vitro, actually, when we're in our baby's mummy tummy, to the ages of 7. And because we're basically completely not in control of our environment at that age, doesn't necessarily mean that we are set up for how we want to be as adults in life. So it means reprogramming the way that we react to things, and that includes stress. I used to be, and still am, learning to not react to things with anger or frustration as an innate response to something. And it's really, really tricky to figure out a new way to react to a situation where you want to be calm and analytical, take a step back and look at the positive things and not just fire out, a negative comment or, just get really, really upset or retract and not want to deal with anything and not communicate anymore. So there's lots of different ways that people react to stress. But at the end of the day, we'll go through a few of the different types. So there's physical stress. Remember I was talking about there's good stress, physical stress, but then there's bad stress. So some of the bad stresses, are aches, pains, and pregnancy. That puts huge stress on our body. Working out, even a sedative lifestyle. So even just not doing anything actually puts stresses on our body. So, you got to think your muscles, your nerves, how do you relax? How do you restore yourself? There's some great products that I use for physical stress. The main one is Ice Blue. This is a athletic blend. It's amazing. My husband absolutely loves it. It also comes in an oil. It actually in a cream. Sorry, it actually smells a bit like deep heat, Voltaren, and it works in the same way with the fact that if you have before exercise or after exercise or aches and pains, you just rub it on the topical area of your skin using a carrier oil of some sort, and it relieves that tension. Other ones, if you can think of lavender, is very calming, it's very soothing, both physically and emotionally. So if you're physically fatigued, citrus bliss or lavender or a citrus are very great at relaxing you. We might also be under stress respiratorily wise. So, having trouble breathing, you can use essential oils to open up your airways. A fantastic one for that is called Easy Air. So Easy Air has a beautiful blend oh, you just smell it and you go, if you diffuse it, it actually kills airborne particles. So it's actually reducing another type of stress, which is environmental stress. This is a blend of laurel, eucalyptus, peppermint, tea tree, lemon, cardamom, other beautiful oils that just clear the airways and nourish the lungs. Another great one, which I love, called Past Tense. This is a relaxation blend, but it's great for tension, head tension, neck tension, muscle tension. It just relaxes everything. This is a blend of, it's a bit hard to read, wintergreen, lavender, peppermint, frankincense, cilantro. Now, cilantro is actually coriander, believe it or not, the leaf of coriander. Marjoram, chamomile, basil, rosemary. Now, there's a lot of herbs in there, funny enough. Herbs are fantastic for muscles. So that's something to remember. Another type of stress is financial stress. I mean, gosh, we've definitely had it. We're one income home. I'm a stay-at-home mum, so everyone has bills. Some people are lucky that they don't have to worry about financial type of stress. For other people, they do. But there's definitely lots of things that you can do to support financial stress. But for most, in the most sense, for myself, doing doTERRA has been a fantastic financial support for our family. Absolutely fantastic financial support. And it's getting bigger and bigger every day, which is amazing. But even just, thinking about stress relief, thinking about learning new skills, saving money, seeking abundance, asking the universe for abundance, using wild orange to manifest. Wild orange is a beautiful, I'm just looking for it in my kit right now. I'm diffusing it as we talk. It's the oil of abundance. It's a beautiful oil for creating and bringing in positive things to your life. Then there's stress with family, social stress, death in the family and friends and sisters and brothers and cousins, and a lack of balance, family life balance. It's really hard to manage the stress with the relationships in a family that's constantly changing. Even, when kids come home from school and you have to deal with and unpack all of those emotions, what they've dealt with the day, plus add in what you've had to deal with, and then the husband and then the dog and everything else. What I love to do in this sense is use a diffuser. A diffuser is the best way to change a mood. In 7 seconds, you can change a mood with a diffuser or inhaling an essential oil. That includes taking off the bottle and smelling it. So when you smell an essential oil, it actually travels up through your nose into your olfactory bulbs, which is in between your eyes in here, and it goes into the middle of your brain, which is where your limbic system lives. Now, your limbic system is your emotional control seat. Okay, so that's where your emotions are controlled from. And so when you can actually reach that part of your brain in 7 seconds, that's how fast it can take to change a mood. So when you can have a diffuser in your home and you can set a mood by using the oils, and some oils that I love to use are the emotional aromatherapy oils. These are amazing. These are 6 oils: motivate, cheer, passion, forgive, console, and peace. And all I can say is they do what they say. Absolutely 100% hands down do what they say. So motivate is an encouraging blend. It's very uplifting. It's exciting. It's definitely great for procrastination. I'm a big one for that. It's reassuring too. So sometimes we procrastinate because we have a fear of failure. So motivate is fantastic. So is cheer. Cheer is a very uplifting blend. It's very engaging too. I diffuse this often at my workshops, or if I've got friends over for dinner. It creates a beautiful, nice, calm mood. And it's also very great for reducing stress because it makes you happy. So if we're happy, we're not stressed, are we? There's also a bit of a trick with cheer. If you diffuse it, if anyone's to do with retail, if you diffuse it near a retail outlet, the customer is happier, your sales will go up, which then helps with financial stress, doesn't it? So there you go, there's a win-win. Passion is a lovely one. It's an inspiring blend. This is about passion, I guess, in the bedroom. It can also be passion for life in general. It's very, it makes you authentic. It makes you love what it is about you. And also, I guess it relieves tension. So because you're content. Forgive is also another big one. Sometimes I think, especially when we're talking about family stress, there's past hurt there, which is where a lot of, I guess, sibling rivalry can come from, or other things, relationships with other people that you have in your life. Forgive is a beautiful blend that I guess is liberating for people, because it gives them the opportunity to move on from situations that might have been locked inside. So that's a very powerful blend. So is console. So we often have, I guess, things thrown at us in life that we don't necessarily like or want to deal with, and they can be very hurtful and hard to process, like a death in the family. My father passed away a couple of years ago, and it was very difficult, and I didn't have the oils then, and I'm very glad to have them now, because if anyone is ever in a similar situation, unfortunately, but it does happen, that I can then help them with these oils, and I can just give them a little sample, and if hopefully it just brings them some relief, which is lovely. So it's a comforting blend. And then peace. Peace is our reassuring blend. So this is also very, very comforting. It's very peaceful and calming, and it's great for those anxious moods. So quite often stress and anxiety go together, because if you think about it, you want to start to look at the cause of an emotion more so than the effect of an emotion. So you can obviously treat both at the same time, but if you're looking at the cause of the anxiety, I guess more so than the result of the stress, you get a bit of a win-win there. So those 6 oils are amazing, and I absolutely love them, and you can just pop them in the diffuser. And as I said, or put them on the soles of your feet, put them on your pulse points, on your wrist, or you can just take the bottle off and just smell them, and you'll feel your body go, you just breathe in and you breathe out, and it just changes the way your body reacts. So remember when I was talking about emotions and molecules, and they affect the cells? Essential oils and molecules, and when we breathe them in through our nose, go into our olfactory bulb, they too are molecules floating around, finding our cell receptors, telling what our cell receptors to do. So if there's stress or emotional receptors in there, molecules in there, and then essential oil molecules in there, can you see how they can work together? So when these essential oil molecules work and support the stress molecules, they can stop the cell from reacting to the stress. They can start to tell the cell what to do in a positive way. Very big, very, very top level chemistry, biology lesson, but I'm trying. So then there's spiritual disconnection too, which depending on your belief system, it can mean that, but it also can be disconnection from oneself. So if you're disconnected from oneself, you can often be disempowered and just lost. And when you're lost, you're lacking motivation. You're just flat a lot of the time, and you've lost direction. So there's some great oils. I guess frankincense, for one, is very, very grounding and beautiful to find oneself. So is lang lang. Lang lang is an oil, I'm finding it is the oil of inner child. So if you had a troubled past or childhood, lang lang can help encourage and support those emotions to reduce the stress of those memories and hopefully unlock some of those blockages. Immortelle is also a beautiful one. Now this is actually our beauty blend. This is an amazing oil emotionally as well as physically. I'll read out some of the oils in here. There's frankincense, Hawaiian sandalwood, lavender, myrrh, helichrysum and rose. And all these oils are extremely high vibrational and very, very supportive and grounding from a spiritual level and connecting to oneself. So they can be extremely calming in a situation of high stress. Environmental stress is another huge one. Huge one, and a big reason why I started with essential oils, because my son started to have allergies and things to standard cleaning products, which everyone else in the home was pretty okay with, but he wasn't. And it wasn't until I actually removed them from the situation I understood how bad they were actually affecting our body, both physically and emotionally. The way, I guess, chemicals and things can affect our emotions, and especially stress on our body, is through our endocrine system and our hormonal system. So the synthetic fragrances, even perfumes, who gets headaches when they walk into David Jones and they smell all those smells, or they walk into a bathroom and it has an Ampipure spraying going off? It's because those synthetic fragrances are affecting our brain. They're affecting our hormones and our endocrine system, and that in turn can infect everything. Our endocrine system controls, so much. It controls our thyroid and our bone density and our hormones and our reproductive system and so many things. So if our hormones are unbalanced, so many other things are. So when we're talking about environmental stress, you gotta look at the air, you gotta look at the home, cleaning products, bugs. So think about what you're cleaning your house with, how you're detoxing your body, how you're purifying your body, what products you're using. So again, the diffuser is great because the diffuser can kill airborne particles. So when you're diffusing things like Easy Air, or you're diffusing things like On Guard, this is a protective blend. This is amazing. This is the immunity coming into winter. Both of these oils, actually, Easy Air and On Guard, are amazing coming into winter and the change of season. It actually protects those cells again from outside threats. So that's fantastic. And you can diffuse these in the air and actually reduce the airborne particles, but also stop the spread of things that are floating around the home that you don't want other people to get in contact with. So it's a really easy way to control any outbreaks of anything in the home, but also reduce symptoms and increase your quality of sleep as well. The essential oils are also fantastic for deterring bugs and pests and mosquitoes and flies. Essential oils, I guess, as a basic understanding, are extracts or volatile aromatic compounds found on leaves and barks and plants and roots and all sorts of parts of nature, and petals of flowers. So they exist for the plants to survive. Think about it that way. So when they come into contact with us, they work in a similar form. So plants need to deter pests, they need to deter molds, they need to, attract bees and pollinate and grow and do lots of other things organic substances need to do. We're an organic substance, we're made of carbon, so are plants, so are essential oils. So that's why they go into our body and they work really well and really fast. So when plants have these oils to protect themselves from bugs, if we diffuse them in our home, wear them on our skin, we're also doing the same thing. So that's also a reduce for environmental stress for us. And it also, I guess, stops like having to put on bug spray. I mean, how toxic is bug spray? That's not a good thing to be around. So the fact that you can have a non-toxic bug spray, which is fantastic, because I get attacked by mozzies and they don't come near me anymore, which is amazing. Another type of stress is emotional stress. So, I mean, this is probably the main type, really. Business stress, family life. You've got to think calming, relaxing, de-stressing, zen. My favourite go-to oil for the zen life is Balance. It's just the most beautiful grounding blend you can ever possibly imagine. You just drop it on your skin, you rub it, smell it, rub it on your neck, just kids, soles of your feet, calms them straight down. Great for bedtime, especially when you mix it with some lavender or lavender peace. It's very, very, very calming. Again, the emotional aromatherapy kit is amazing. Anything like chuck a couple of drops in the bath. I mean, I put my kids in a bath every night and they just have 1 or 2 drops of lavender, and a drop of vetiver. Vetiver is, I'm just looking for it, here it is. Vetiver is a root of a grass, and it is so, I mean, when you think of a grass root, it's like in the soil. It is as grounded as you're going to get when you metaphorically think of it that way. But it's It's beautiful. I smell it now and I'm like, oh, I just want to go to bed. It's amazing. It's really, really, really calming. So there's lots of oils that relate to us on an emotional level. You can also think of ones that are relaxing, I guess. So lavender is the main one. Really, lots of citruses are actually really relaxing as well. Citrus Bliss, wild orange, we've talked about those. Elevation is another one, which is a blend out of a mood management kit. So there's lots of oils that obviously when we connect and when this resonates with you, because I'm hoping that it is, we can sit down and talk and chat one-on-one about what it is exactly that you need, because there's so many oils out there and it can be very overwhelming. But you can start with 1 oil, 4 oils, or the Home Essentials kit, which is by far the best way to start. It comes with the diffuser, so you can diffuse it in your home, and 10 oils, which are by far, I mean, we're covering them all tonight, and I'll go through them at the end of the workshop. Chemical stress is another one, big time. So what are we eating? What are we eating? What are the chemicals? What are the preservatives, the additives, the water we're drinking, the air that we're breathing, the fluoride that we're consuming through, our toothpaste and our water, beauty products. I mean, our skin is our largest organ. So, think of it that way. What we're putting on our skin is getting into our system as well. So chemical stress is huge, and that affects us again on a really, really, really big level physically. So you really got to worry about cleansing your body, detoxing your body. There's an oil called Zendocrine, which is actually designed to cleanse our organs. So same with citruses, and another oil called Smart and Sassy. It's fantastic for reducing or breaking down petrochemicals in our body. So when essential oils come into our system, they work on a few different ways. Actually, they work on 100 different ways depending on what they find. But they are adaptive and they're selective to their environment. So they can tell the difference between something that should be there, a carbon-based substance that is obviously our body and it's not something that they need to do anything with, and then also a toxic substance or a synthetic substance that shouldn't be there. And quite often that's, our liver can be full of it because that's where our body detoxes and flushes out. That's where, if we can look after our organs when we're trying to reduce load on our body, we can help flush that out and support our body that way. So, citruses are great. On Guard, again, is another fantastic way to reduce our toxic load and our chemical load through not having to use so many pharmaceuticals, over-the-counter medications. We can have this as a step before having to look to that, before preventative medication, before having to go to the doctors. So that's a really, really useful way to do. So I think I've covered them all. So we've covered chemical, physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, or connected to oneself, environmental, and social stress. So I guess with stress, it just depends on the amount and the duration that we're exposed to. So some it can be a day, some it can be a month or a decade. It just depends on how much wear and tear we have on our body, and how much it actually affects us on a whole. When we're taught our bodies, we're actually taught in systems. So like the respiratory system or the muscular system or the digestive system or the endocrine system, cardiovascular system. When we start to look at our body as one whole, it's much easier for us to support our body. And especially when it comes to stress, because it can manifest in all areas, so many different areas. So just because we're getting a headache, that's probably the first sign of stress in our body somewhere. Or it could be a pain in our shoulder or our gut. Our gut health is so important to our mind, and even our heart health. So our heart and our mind and our gut are 3 brains in our body, and they work all differently, but they all communicate really, really closely. So it's really, really important to understand that when we breathe in air, it oxygenates our lungs. It pumps through our heart. It fuels our muscles and our brain. Our brain tells us, what to do. It tells our organs what to do. Everything starts with breathing in and breathing out. And if we do it again, I hope you've just done it, because even myself, I feel calmer. So there's lots of things that we can do, even before using essential oils, to de-stress. and breathing is one of them. Being grateful, being positive, and sometimes it's really hard to get off the negative train, because sometimes, you know, if you're really in a crappy mood, you just want to dwell on that and really just sink into it and really feel miserable and get over, you know, lots of sympathy. And at the end of the day, that's not helping anyone, including yourself. And what happens when most people just dwell on that stuff? You get an ulcer, or you get an upset stomach, or you don't want to eat anymore. See how it's affecting your gut already just by feeling that way? So, yeah, I mean, you can look at your gut when obviously you have an upset stomach. Of course, there's digestion. Digestion is amazing gut support. If you get bloating or winding or you know, irritable bowel, or just things that you've just, you know, haven't eaten and you shouldn't have eaten, and you just need to, you know, calm that tummy, you just rub it on, and it's with a carrier oil, and it just dissipates. It's amazing. But at the end of the day, let's look at the stress that caused it in the first place as well. So when you come into contact with an essential oil, aromatically or topically, the changes happen pretty quickly. 7 seconds obviously for a mood, but within 20 seconds it's in your blood. So within 2 minutes it's found its way to your brain, and within 20 to 30 minutes it's in every cell of your body. So it doesn't matter how you come into contact with the essential oils. It doesn't matter if you just want to start diffusing them in your home. They're going to have an effect on your body in its entirety, which is really, really powerful and hopefully less daunting for you. So, yeah, you just have to think about, you just have to start with the essential oils and actually understand how they're working in your body, and I guess what it is that you need support with. So think about what stresses are coming up in your life. Think about what you've tried to do in the past, what's worked, what hasn't. I mean, these all affect our adrenal glands. They affect our pituitary gland. So sleep is really, really important. Cedarwood is my absolute favourite for sleep. Cedarwood I rub on my brow, up and through here, up in the back, and that actually stimulates your pituitary gland. So your pituitary gland is where you produce your melatonin, and your melatonin is what you produce during deep sleep. So I'd rub some even on my big toe. Your big toe is your pressure point on your foot for your brain. So that's a fantastic spot to just sit and rub before you go to bed. And, yeah, just calm the mind, switch off the mind. But oils relate to us in lots of different ways, emotionally and physically. There's a book called Emotions and Essential Oils. It's amazing. I love it because quite often I'll do an intuitive pick to something. And if you don't second guess the shelf and you just go with it, you're probably going to get a really amazing experience. But I was going to go through the 10 oils that come in the Home Essentials kit, because you've got to start somewhere, and that's the smartest place to start, especially if you're open to this side of healing and home, both, you know, emotionally but also physically. When you're talking about, you've got peppermint. So peppermint is very stimulating for the mind, very calming for the gut, very cooling for the skin. But it's very, it's invigorating. It's exciting when you smell peppermint. I diffuse it in the morning with wild orange or lemon, and the kids come out, it's like, "Woo, good morning, what's for breakfast?" When they've opened the door and they're like, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay." So it's a really lovely way to start the day, and that's a great emotional support. And two, if you're fatigued, if you're tired and you're like, or if you've got tension in your neck, you can just rub the peppermint on your neck or on your temples, and it invigorates you. What else do we have? We've got lemon. Lemon is detoxing on the body. It's detoxing for the home. You can use it in cleaning products. So there's a few stresses reduced straight away. It's very stimulating and uplifting to the mood. There's another stress reduced. If you can lift your mood with a citrus oil, that's amazing. Lavender is in the kit. Lavender is very calming. It's very soothing. It's great for skin, anything skin related. So like that, again, you try a couple drops in a bath. You can diffuse it at night time. You can sleep with it. You can spray with some water in a spray bottle, glass spray bottle with some lavender onto your pillow at night, or put a drop on your pillow. Or with the kids love lavender at night. It's really great for sleep. again, you know, if you can get your good sleep, if you can calm yourself, these are all things that are going to help you with your stress, and will take that pressure off of our body. We've then got tea tree. Tea tree is excellent again for skin. It's also excellent for our immune system and a fantastic cleaning agent. So yeah, I mean that's another fantastic one to tea tree. It's a hands down winner for me and my family, and especially with my children if they scrape their knee, any environmental threats, bugs, itches, scratches, all that kind of stuff. And also, like, you can just make your own cleaner. you can put a couple of drops in your washing machine to purify the washing machine and the clothes that are going in there, if they're like being nappies or, you know, old work clothes and things like that, which aren't necessarily clean, or even like gardening clothes with soil and things on them, which you want to get clean. You can just put a couple of drops in the washing machine. So that's a really good way to go. Clothes wash, washing machine. I'm thinking dishwasher. But you can put them in the dishwasher too. I actually put lemon in my dishwasher, which is fantastic. The dishes are so sparkly and the glass is so clean. That's fantastic. What are we up to? We're up to, hang on. Oh, frankincense, sorry. Frankincense. Frankincense is in this kit. Frankincense is the king of oils. It's very, very calming. It's great for our cells. So when we're talking about the cellular change, the cellular rejuvenation, that if we've dealt from chronic stress for a really long time, frankincense can be huge support for your body. It's basically the go-to for anything. It nourishes everything to do with the brain and the blood. So anywhere the blood goes or the brain controls, frankincense supports. Think of it that way, which is pretty much everything. So that's a winner. That's an amazing oil to have in this kit. Oregano is another really big one. Oregano is, well, I use it in cooking for starters, but it's great for your immunity. So it's huge protection for environmental threats. If you are struggling with something within your body that you're feeling run down from, some diluted oregano down your spine. Now, oregano you have to dilute because it is very hot. So the skin sensitivity is way too sensitive for oregano oil straight onto your skin, so always dilute with a carrier oil. But yeah, it's amazing. Even like for the health of our nails and what, you know, it kills funguses and mold. And so if you've got environmental stress, as in like you live in a very humid location, like I've got friends up in Darwin or Far North Queensland, mold is everywhere. So if you get a glass spray bottle, fill it with water, had a couple of drops of oregano and spray, like clean the area and spray it, mold cannot grow where oregano is present. So, you know, automatically you can reduce the mold spores in your home, which is going to be a huge significant change in your physical stress on your body. Ice blue, we've talked about ice blue with the physical stress again. So muscular aches, pains before and after a workout, you know, even to do with things like joint discomfort and creaks and groans and anything that you're dealing with on a physical level. It's amazing the number of people that go, oh, I had this pain and it's always been there and I've just used this and it's like it's just not there anymore. And it's like, is that a coincidence? And I'm like, well, could be, but I doubt it, because you're not the only person who said that, and myself, I feel the same way. So the change can be almost within seconds. So when you're talking about you're putting ice blue on your body and within 20 seconds it's in your bloodstream and you're putting it on a localized area, you can have relief in seconds. Easy Air is another great one. That's in the kit. That's for the respiratory support. That's your liquid Vicks, basically. You can diffuse that at night to open up your airways, to increase the blood and the oxygen into your lungs and your system. So if you're getting more oxygen when you sleep, imagine how much better that homeostasis, that healing period is going to be for you, and how much longer that, how better quality of sleep you're going to have. Then think about adding in some lavender and some frankincense with that Easy Air, or some On Guard if you're under threat immune-wise, and, you know, a couple of drops of each, and imagine the support your body's going to be getting when you're asleep. So this is the bigger picture. This is when we start to feel like, okay, this is easy to do. You're falling asleep with a couple of drops and things, and all of a sudden you're waking up like a different person. Digestion is the other one. That's your gut health. That's your digestive support. This is really, really big, especially when you think about that, your gut and your brain connection. 90% of serotonin, or your happy drug, is produced in your gut. So if your gut is out of balance, so is your mood. So if you're really reactive, I know if I've had a bad day, like if I haven't eaten very well one day, I am so cranky the next day. It's basically like a mini detox. My emotions are so skewy that I just need to get myself in check using the emotional oils, but then also treat my gut. And I just love digestion. I just rub it on. And if my daughter comes to me and her tummy's sore, she can, just a little bit of one drop with some carrier oil, she can rub it on herself. She's 4 years old, and even she gets the benefits from these essential oils if she's got a sore tummy. It doesn't matter what's happening with your gut and your movements, your bowel movements. It doesn't matter if they're too loose or too hard or whatever's going on. It actually balances it out, which is fantastic. It also is great for motion sickness and nausea and car sickness, and I use it in the plane. I also use peppermint in the plane because that helps with my gut as well. Because I'm shocking with motion sickness. And the last one I think if I haven't covered it already is On Guard. And On Guard is just amazing. It's our immunity support. I'm using it every single day, especially right now, coming into winter. And for me, if my body isn't under stress for emotional reasons, it's under stress from the environment around me. And I know by putting On Guard on myself, I put one drop in my hand with some carrier oil, and everyone gets it at breakfast. So all on the back of their necks or the feet, if depending on if they're dressed or not, but that's their protection for at least a couple of hours, if not the whole day. And yeah, it's a peace of mind, and it's really, really reassuring. So they're the 10 oils. I mean, how amazing are they, just to start off with, and to learn how your body uses them, what your body needs, how you can support it to manage the stresses in your everyday life. And when you're looking at your adrenals, and I mean, even that's your sugar levels. So that's your sugar levels going up and down, up and down, up and down. So if you can balance that out, there's another oil called Smart and Sassy, which is great for balancing out sugar levels in your body. When you're focusing on your liver, so like lemon, that's your detoxification, and your adrenals. Basil and rosemary are great for your adrenals. So you can actually, I can't do it, you can't see, but I'm just under my rib cage there. That's where your adrenals are. So that can support if they're really, really, really getting to that stage. So there's lots of other specific oils that you can use to treat specific conditions, but this is where I want to empower you. This is about you, not about me telling you how they work for me, but about you doing the research and starting with these oils and finding out how they work for you. And to celebrate doTERRA's release of the emotional aromatherapy kit, because this has only been in Australia for a month, maybe 2 months, anyone who enrolls tonight, or actually no, I won't even say tonight, I'll say in the next 3 days. So let's say by the 24th of May. Anyone that enrolls by the 24th of May on a Home Essentials kit will get a free Sally-Bell. This is a $130 oil. This is that oil. Remember I was saying how it's very spiritual, grounding, but fantastic for skin. This is our beauty blend, but it works on a very amazing emotional level. So that's free within a Home Essentials kit. Or we can do custom orders. So let's say a custom order over 200 points. We'll also get that for free. You'll get a diffuser as well in the Home Essentials kit, those 10 oils which you've just gone through. And me, you get me too, which is fantastic, because this is about a journey. This isn't about getting the oils and have no idea what to do with them. I'm here. I have over 100, close to 140 people around Australia right now in my team, and I support them all through online discussions, phone conversations. I have a closed Facebook page too for support, and I do mentoring. If anyone's interested in doing, if this is resonating with you and go, wow, I have lots of people that I can help with this. I can mentor you from a business perspective as well, and how this can support you and your family financially, which has been amazing for me. But at the end of the day, I want to get this into as many people's homes as possible. And by doing that, I guess I want to also offer an incentive that if this resonates with you and you want me to come to your home and do a workshop with you and your friends, I will also give you a lucky dip for an emotional oil. Okay, so that will be, I mean, they're up to what, $80 worth each individually, depending on which one you pick out. So it'll either be an emotional aromatherapy oil or a mood management kit oil. So there's 10 to choose from. It'll just depends on what you pull out on the night. And yeah, so that can either be, if you're local to the Hunter Valley or Newcastle, let me know. Otherwise, we can do it via Skype, via the internet, via telephone. We can do it lots of different ways. Distance is no barrier here. So just get in contact with me. My Facebook page is Ikigai Oils. So to write that out, it's IKIGAI, Ikigai Oils, and I'm on Facebook. You can leave a message below. I will get back to you. And of course, let's keep in touch, because this is just the beginning. This is just a start of understanding, I guess, your body and listening to your body. And stress is the way that your body is talking to you. And it's just a matter of understanding that it doesn't have to be so intense. It doesn't have to be forever. This is just a temporary situation until you have the resources that you can turn to at any time of the day. You know, it doesn't matter if the toddler's having a meltdown in the supermarket, or who's going to be with you at 2 a.m. when you're having a panic attack about something, or like a paper bag. You know, that's not a solution. These oils are amazing, and they've supported me, and they've supported hundreds and thousands of other people, and I want to help them get into your home. So contact me through Ikigai Oils, or leave a message below, and we'll be in touch. Okay, I just want you, hope to have a wonderful night, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.